Well, hello guys. Been a bit. Yeah, we've had a bunch of new albums we've looked at recently, but I think I'm feeling a little classic today. I'm feeling a little classic album. I have a lot of classic albums in mind, plus I also have a bunch of classic albums with the greatest series on earth, the Garroott Friendly Request, aka the GRFR, but it's just something that I've wanted to do. There's just some albums in there that, while I hope doesn't take up the brunt of the year, are just albums that I just wanted to just have on the channel just cuz. Nothing really too special about it, just like on a whim type of album. And this album today is gonna be it. It's it's a colorful album. I guess you could say it's pretty associated with a specific color. Everyone, just quick pop quiz, all right? Just need to know where your head's at right now. Ready? Think in your mind. Think of a specific color that's tied to it, right? And what color am I talking about? You guessed it, the color blue. And you already have that album in your mind, right? You already know which album I'm fucking talking about. This classic blue album we are gonna be looking at today is none other than JoniMitchell's Blue album. Yes! I can't think of any other blue album to look at in this very moment, or in any moment, at any time, than this album right here. Seriously, what other blue album could there be? What other blue album could I possibly be talking about? Alright, enough with the April Fool's bullshit. Alright, yeah, I know. Shitty bit, whatever. But yeah, we're actually gonna be looking at the Blue album by JoniMitchell. Like, actually looking at it, because I don't know. I thought the bit was pretty funny. I don't know about you. If not, then I guess, you know, I can go fuck myself. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I've wanted to look at this Blue album because, you know, obviously it literally just says blue. The cover is blue, and I know JoniMitchell is pretty much a legend in like the folk kind of music. To be honest, I actually do not know that much about JoniMitchell. So I just thought the connection to the other Blue album, it gave me enough of an excuse to come onto this channel and react to it on camera, just because, yeah, it's just that easy. It's just that easy. Like I said, I barely know anything about JoniMitchell besides the fact that apparently she's like a folk artist, kind of in that lane, and I'm assuming this album is gonna be somewhere around that area. But yeah, I don't expect hard hitting rock riffs. I don't expect licks, crazy iconic, well, I don't know, actually. I really don't know. Yeah, so I guess we shall get our formalities out of the way and show you that genius lord. But I guess, oh, wow, look at that. Look at that profile picture. That is tough. Starting as a finger-picking folky and winding up as a jazz-savvy experimentalist, JoniMitchell has brought a sharp eye, light touch, and an agile trail of a voice to her songs, which have often dissected her romances and skewed myopic government. Myopic government, what a batch of words. A wealth of musicians, from Tori Amos to Prince, from Joanna Newsom to Iron and Wine, and even Michael Hedges have acknowledged her influence. There we go. Doesn't really very well. Doesn't really well. It kind of did describe her a bit at the beginning. And let's see what Genius has to say about the album. JoniMitchell told Rolling Stone in 1979, "The Blue album. There's hardly a dishonest note in the vocals. At that period of my life, I had no personal defenses. I felt like a cellophane wrapper on a pack of cigarettes. Damn. I felt like I had absolutely no secrets from the world, and I couldn't pretend in my life to be strong or to be happy. With song after song of regrets and sorrow, this may be the ultimate breakup album. Its whispery minimalism is also Mitchell's greatest musical achievement. Stephen Stills and James Taylor lent an occasional hand, but okay. On its 2020 update of the popular 500 greatest albums of all time list, Rolling Stone ranked Blue all the way up to the 3rd position, marking an ongoing reassessment of the records and Joni's artistic merit and legacy. Yeah, so another case of, I could really go on a whole ramble about the fact that I have a bunch of albums that would, I guess you'd look at me weirdly and be like, wow, you haven't listened to that album? There's definitely a ramble in there somewhere, not today, but definitely a ramble about the, like, I guess, struggle or dilemma of playing catch up with music, because like realistically I really didn't start taking music listening seriously until like after high school, honestly. But that's a topic for another day, and we can set that for another time whenever I have time, because life has been changing, man. Life has been doing life stuff, and I can't wait for this album to either be super relatable or not relatable at all. Either way, I'm ready for some hopefully good music, hopefully some legendary classic music. But yeah, I guess other folk artists that I've listened to, Mitski counts, right? That new Cameron Winter album from a couple of years ago, heavy metal, that had some folk in it. I've had a big Geese phase right now. If you're watching this video right now, you've met me at a very Geese moment in my life. So shout out to Geese, shout out to Cameron Winter. And yeah, there's probably a bunch of other folk artists you can name, and maybe I'll catch a couple of them, but one of them will eventually be JoniMitchell after this nice half hour of music that we got. Look at this. Look at how fucking blue she looks. Jesus Christ. That is the color of sorrow. And whoa, there's a song called River. I should have listened to this album sooner. All right, anyway, enough of the stupid ramble, enough of the April Fool's bit. Hopefully I get this out on April Fool's, but enough of it. Time to get into the music. Blue by JoniMitchell, June 22nd, 1971. So in about a few months, it'll be 55 years. Damn. 10 songs, 36 minutes, and 4 seconds. Track number 1, All I Want. Oh, hello?
I am on a lonely road and traveling, looking can it be.
The UI change a little bit? Full screen? Oh, okay.
I wanna be strong, I wanna laugh alone. Jukebox type, do you want
I mean, yeah, I mean, listen to these vocals. These are like as folk can get.
sweet romance?
Okay. Listen to that guitar strumming.
Bring out the best in me, and in you. One shampoo, you wanna renew.
Shampoo you.
Since my mind sees sauce, so blue.
This is the greatest album ever.
Wanna be the one that you wanna see, wanna make you feel.
Oh, oh, fuck. Never mind. Weird new UI update for Spotify. But yeah, wow, okay. Wow, okay. What a start. Yeah. If you've listened to any folk album, I guess you this is kind of what you generally expect from that type of genre. You know, I'm not here to say that I'm an expert in folk music, obviously, but from whatever small sample size I may have, this sounds per the course. But obviously I'm assuming she's one of the pioneers of it, considering that this is an album from 1971 and whatnot. But this is probably gonna show my casualness too, but I guess Fleetwood Mac, while I haven't listened to Rumors fully, I think that's another band that comes to mind. But I think that album was from 74, if I can remember correctly. Oh, 77, never mind. So JoniMitchell predates at least this album by many years. But well, Google calls it pop rock, soft rock. What does Google call folk music? Folk rock. Okay, so yeah, I guess I only really think about the chain. I guess I don't know how much crossover those two bands have, if any. But yeah, obvious standout is Joni's you know, the way she exudes herself on the vocals, getting that high pitch and that very folkish, you know, vocal style. Into the playlist you go, and let's see what Genius has to say. In an interview with the Los Angeles Times, JoniMitchell said, "I like that song. It's got more tooth than most of the other early songs, but I don't know what to say about it. It's funny how people keep looking between the lines of songs to see what is hidden there. Well, I'm not an evasive writer. You don't have to dig under the words for the meaning. The meaning is all there. It's very plain speak. When someone asks what a song like Sex Kills is about, I want to say, well, did you listen to the words? Okay. Yeah. There's a ton of merit in what she's saying about how it can be very straightforward, but I guess it depends on who the listener is. You know, maybe there is something in these lyrics that you can... Oh, this is a... Whoops. There's more. A song about yearning and love. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you can look in the lyrics, I guess you can try to make something out of it with your imagination to make it, I guess, more than what Joni might have really put down on paper for us to listen to and read. But yeah, I guess it just depends on the reader and, you know, maybe Joni also subverting you. I don't know. But yeah, nice little start. Nice little start. Next track. Second track out of 10, My Old Man. Oh look, we can look at the lyrics right here. Okay. This is that piano. Oh, there we go. Oh. A little lot. Damn. What a lovely line. I don't know, I like... Oh, fuck. I like having the lyrics up like this. I don't know. I don't know.
And he takes me, tells me all his troubles. Piece of paper from the city.
Like, I mean, what a nice little line.
Some blues, frying pans to warm my old man. He's a singer, he's a dad from the city hall, and a died and true. Some blues.
Yeah, wow. Nice little piano track, nice little lovely piano track. Especially with the from the city hall, keeping us tied in. You know that part. Very nice little treat on your ears. Especially with Joni's. I'm assuming that's her piano playing. Either way, her vocals are like still top notch. Maybe if I could just read, it feels like a love letter or like a little appreciation letter to her dad, or unless she's talking about like a lover who's just, you know, on the older side. Whoever this person is gives me solace in life. Whenever you're away, I just feel uneasy. My lonesome blues, wherever they go whenever you're gone, they just somehow creep back in, and it's like I need you kind of thing, or I don't feel at peace when you're not around kind of stuff, which it sounds very poetic if you want it to be like that. Joni wrote this song about a fantasy of domesticity, Jesus Christ, that harkens back to her relationship with Graham Nash, which ended while Joni was on a trip to Europe after her announcement that she was retiring from public performance. Oh, huh. During this trip, she sent him a telegram with the sentence, "If you hold sand too tightly in your hand, it will run through your fingers." Afterward, they remained friends, but she was no longer interested in the prospect of marrying Graham. Oh wait, why does this have 40 downvotes? Hello? Opinion. Isn't depiction of song. Opinion. Okay, never mind. Jeez, I guess we can't get correct annotations or descriptions about songs on Genius, especially when it comes to freaking classic songs, I guess. The absence of her lover evokes deep sadness in Joni. It lets the depression manifest itself in her, and with no distraction, she has to carry the weight of it. Yeah, the bed's too big. Hell yeah. Well, what the fuck? A reversal in adjectives, the bed's too wide, the frying pan's too big would be the more prosaic description, but this is poetry. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's up with the annotations being, what's the word? Inconsistent? Also a reference to the little things in life that she and her lover experienced together. They would sleep in the same bed, one would make breakfast for the other, etc. But with his departure, she notices them and expresses her despair at not being able to share seemingly unimportant moments with him anymore. Yeah, I mean, she has a pretty cool way of describing, you know, I guess what would be described as mundane things when it comes to your lover not being in your life. Because I guess there's this one Instagram reel that I saw a while ago, which is like this little sweet little lovey-dovey thing where it's like she entered my life and the world got a little bit brighter, or some bullshit along the lines of that, where it's like, you know, there's another towel for the bathroom, there's another toothbrush on the sink, there's another, you know, chair for the table, that kind of stuff. It's like, you know, it's just those little things that you notice in your own surroundings when you have someone else with you by your side, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's another sweet love song kind of thing, but with the underlying talk about not having you there makes things, I guess, worse or darker, that kind of stuff, which, you know, if you want to look into a very cynical way, you could talk about dependency, but I don't think that's the type of thing that Joni was looking for. Trying to think a little bit more hopeful in this sense, but considering that there's possibly some breakup involved with the making of this album, you never truly know, I guess. I guess it just depends on your certain mood at a certain day. But either way, it was a fucking good track. All I want is love that lasts. Sorry. Next track, track 3, Little Green. Is there no lyrics? Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay. Spotify, what are we doing?
Boy, choose her a name, and the winters cannot fade her. Call it hearing that everything's, her eyes are blue. Little green, he's a gnome too green, like the color.
Let's go, spring mentioned.
The northern lights perform sorrow. So you sign all the papers, have a happy ending. Just there'll be crocuses, a little green, and birthday clothes, and sometime.
Okay, yeah. This is why I kind of have something like Genius up on the side while I look at the lyrics and whatnot, because I guess there'd be something here that maybe I just wouldn't get off rip, either just to add a little bit of context or maybe someone else's perspective on what this track is. Because I mean, I can have my own obviously my own thoughts matter too, right? You know, I can try to think of something off the rip to describe how I felt about this song, because realistically, to be honest, I kind of thought it was just like a little sweet track about, you know, spring, like just the season spring, which, you know, a bunch of mentions about green and whatnot. But obviously there's some lines in here that I'm like, okay, maybe there's just more beneath that little surface level theme or setting that I have with this song. Because, you know, with songs or with lines like, and sometimes there'll be sorrow, or naming a child, or it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, there's definitely something here besides just talking about the, you know, season of spring. And that's where the Genius annotation comes in here to help me out. And once I read it, I was like, holy shit, that makes a lot of sense. And does this make the song feel 20 times more sad? JoniMitchell wrote Little Green in 1966, 5 years before the release of Blue. Considered one of the most personal tracks on the album, this bittersweet folk ballad was written 1 year after a 20-year-old Mitchell signed the papers to put up her then infant daughter for adoption. Like, what? This was not publicly known until 1993. Jesus Christ. When a roommate from Mitchell's art school days told the adoption story to a tabloid magazine. Eesh. The mother and daughter reunited in 1997. Mitchell commented on the situation in a 1998 interview. I was dirt poor. An unhappy mother does not raise a happy child. Sheesh. It was difficult parting with the child, but I had to let her go. In Little Green, Joni laments the situation, yet has hope that she is giving her daughter the chance for a better life. And once I read that, everything just fucking went haywire, and I was like, holy shit, this song just adds a completely new lens on it. And I mean, like, it just adds, you know, a bunch more things you could talk about when it comes to what you can realize the context of the album, and I guess look more deeper into it. If this is, the truth about it, it seems to be true. There's not a bunch of downvotes on it or whatnot, but if it is the case, then my God, what a situation though. I mean, like a bunch of topics you can talk about, especially talk of motherhood, being ready for motherhood, being ready for a child, that sort of stuff, letting go of someone that obviously is one of your own, but these situations underneath just can't be solved, or it's not right for a child to be in this certain situation with this mother right now. And it's like it's a really hard decision to go through, especially at that age, at 20 years old. I mean, I don't know if the law changed since the 70s, but you couldn't even drink alcohol back then if it was still 21. But it's like, and you're having to make a very huge, like very crucial decision in your life like that. I mean, like having a child is it's a lifelong obligation almost. Well, legally 18 years, but after that, they're still there for however long they live, and it's like, my God. it's just a very interesting situation, but it's not a unique situation. And she just has a way with words, I guess. An unhappy mother does not raise a happy child. It's a simple saying, but like, I mean, how many people need to hear that? How many people should hear that? That kind of stuff. And my God, after all those years, reuniting like 30 years later, holy shit, I couldn't even imagine the emotions felt at that time, or even as she was writing the song in the 60s. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just fucking insane. That's oh my God. Wow, what a song. Huh. Damn, Joni. Fuck. Anyway, track number 4, Carey.
I couldn't sleep.
Hell yeah.
It sure is hard.
Joni has a, unique, or, her usual cadence of voice, which is fine. Just something I noticed. Hell yeah, shout out to Cologne. Background vocals. Freaks. Jesus. Okay. Doubt you can. Put on some silver.
Maybe I'll go to Rome.
Hell yeah.
Come on,
Carey, get out your cane. I'll put on some silver.
It sure is hard to leave you, but it's now they got me used to that clean white linen.
Apparently he has to do something with Graham Nash again and Carey Raditz. But yeah, I guess a tracker, going out, having a fun ass time with our bars and our drinks and the Starry Night, very old school sounding, very whimsical, very whimsical setting, and what a nice track. Whoa, hello. Hold on, I gotta add, how do I get to I gotta add that track. This is a good song. I don't know, man. Next track though, the title track, Blue.
Blue songs are like tattoo to see before. Oh, let me say there is a song for you to feel. Acid, booze, and ass, needles, guns.
Hell yeah. All you need in life, honestly. I mean, just listen to that piano, though.
There is your song from me.
Yeah, wow. Great title track. Very great title track. I'm just really liking how she's able to describe her feelings and emotions and how they associate with a specific color. I mean, of course, it's not like Joni's the only one who has done that. Color theory exists for a reason, whatnot, but it's like she's able to just say it so freely and so emotionally, where it's like you can start to feel what she's feeling when you mention the color. Obviously, blue could mean the complete opposite of what she's conveying here, but definitely associations to sadness in a way, or how you relate green to spring could relate blue to the ocean. Literally says C in the song earlier. Blue, shell for you, Mario Kart reference. Sorry. And what Genius says here is the song touches on depression, general sadness, and the ways people use to escape from them, told over a beautiful piano melody. Sounds right about Joni. It's like, yeah, if you're gonna mention stuff like loving blue, which is like, in a way, I guess saying you love depression or love sad thoughts, and it's like, wow, yeah, it's very, what's the word? I don't know if ironic is the right word, but like, it's like when two words just kind of contradict each other. I don't know if contradictory is the right word, but you know what I'm saying. Like the blue, I love you, it's a little weird. Sadness is all she has right now, and this depression is what is most true to her at this point. And it also allows her to waste her time in activities she knows won't help her, but it will alleviate the sorrow. Blue, this depression is herself. Even though she feels blue as the ocean, she has learned to love herself in this depressive state. There's a bunch of different ways to interpret this, I guess. I guess when you say stuff like this, I guess it is open up to interpretation, even though it does sound kind of straightforward in a way, but it's like, I don't know. Saying, being straightforward and saying, I love a color, you're gonna have to put some thought into it and some of your brain power, but yeah. I mean, obviously, I guess one interpretation isn't the end-all be-all, but unless Joni herself wants to say it. Actually, I should probably research this right now. Is JoniMitchell still alive? Wow, she is still alive. She's a Canadian American singer-songwriter. Gotcha. Still alive, still kicking it. Respect. Yeah, but I guess it is a very simple line, but kind of imaginative in a way. So yeah, I mean, like, there's certain colors you can associate with stuff. Besides spring, I guess you could classify green as like correctness or being right, red being anger or being wrong kind of stuff, blue with sadness, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I get where she's going with this. So songs are like tattoos. Yeah, I mean, how many people have gotten song lyrics tattooed on themselves? I know that's probably not what she meant, but like, songs will stick with you. Songs will stick with you for a while. Just like this song has stuck with me. 'Cause it's so fucking good. Yeah, another, I don't know why this artist kind of just came up right now. Elliott Smith? Yeah, Elliott Smith. I think this is another artist that I've kind of looked into for a bit, like a while ago. What the fuck was this album called? Was it the self-titled? Yeah. Obviously, I don't have a lot of stuff to say about it right now because I haven't listened to it in a while, but yeah, there's another one of these albums that I thought was like, kind of in that same branch of, mellow, sadder, lower moment songs, and yeah, I don't really have much else to say right now because I haven't really listened to this album in a while, but that definitely I got another bit of that feeling off of this album, and it is a little bit blue too, so there's probably a bunch of crossover with Elliott Smith and JoniMitchell. So yeah, rest in peace to Mr. Elliott Smith. Fuck, how do I, there we go. Yeah, there we go. See, I dabble a little bit in folk music. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting carried away. Holy. Also, what you mean by acid, booze, and ass? They were just having cheap fun with LSD, alcohol, sex, marijuana, and she seems desperate that all she can get from life is a bunch of laughter after getting stoned. She believes there's gotta be more to life than this, which she will be more explicit next verse. Hippest. Makes sense now. Alright, anyway. Next track number 6, California. Too much time out in California. Hey, that's not California.
Sitting in a park in Paris, France. They won't give peace a chance. They want lands to see.
True.
California. Then kiss a sunset peak.
Okay. Okay.
I met a redneck on a Grecian Isle, but he kept my camera in a cell. Oh, the road.
God damn it. Another one of those homesick tracks. Very much yearning for your home.
I'm your biggest fan, California.
Well, speaking of California, I know a couple of artists who yearn for California, you know, appreciate the state as well. I can't name them off the top of my head, but you know who.
Give you the blues.
What a voice Joni has. Little country vibes, little country licks. Yep, that's definitely California. Damn, how old is Vogue? Sheesh.
Strung out on another man, California.
Oh, hell. Hey. I know I've said it like almost every track so far, but like, man, the vocals are just so great. The way she can reach up there, and like the more calmer voice, the more calmer part of her voice too is like, you know, very varied, very great, very iconic. I'm assuming is like, wow. I mean, maybe she doesn't get enough praise for it, even though it's one of the greatest albums of all time. I don't know. Made me appreciate California, and I haven't been there in a while. So yeah. Next track, this flight tonight. Get a little fucking country tonight. Get a little fucking country tonight.
I saw falling, star burn up the sand.
God damn. Wonder what Vegas was like in the 70s.
Not the northern one, the guy didn't say. Star bright, you got the
Star bright, star bright.
Shouldn't have gone this flight.
God damn it.
You got that look so critical, now I can't critical. There's a heavens that I like, alright.
Go. Lovely, lovely regret.
Champagne got the headphones up high, can't.
Okay.
Star bright, you got the love.
Damn. God damn it. Shouldn't have gone on that flight, Joni. It's okay. We all make brass decisions. We all make decisions we regret. You know, it just comes with the show. You know, it comes with the job. You just gotta learn from your mistakes. That type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Next track, River. What the fuck? Was that just a play on Jingle Bells? I mean, like, if we look at what the first lyric says.
Cutting down trees, I could skate. I'm gonna quit this crazy scene. I wish
Fair?
I could fly.
What the fuck, man?
Me weak in the knees. Oh,
Hell yeah.
I'm selfish and I'm sad. Now I gone and lost the best. Skate away. I'll teach my feet to fly. I made my babies. I could skate.
Sorry. Wow. I mean, we gotta give it to JoniMitchell. She made me listen to a Christmas song in March. I mean, only Joni could do that, right, guys? But yeah, wow. I mean, obviously, there's still the slight musical references or slight interpolations to Jingle Bells, Christmas, you know, literally mentioning Christmas in the chorus and whatnot. But you know, this still feels like a track you can listen to all year round. It's not overtly in that Christmas formula, you know. It's not a big jazz band or anything. There's the piano. It's like a somber piano folk ballad, and yeah, it feels almost rare in a sense, because like usually when you think of Christmas songs, you think of, you know, energetic, jazzy, hopeful, lovey, you know, intimate songs, you know. And there are a handful of songs that relate to Christmas and are in this sort of, you know, depressive, slower lane. But I feel like the ratio to lovely, energetic Christmas songs to songs like this it's a very big gap, I'd want to say. But then again, you know, Christmas was already a few months ago, and you know, it's passed already, and it's way too early for Christmas 2026. But hey, once December rolls around, I'm probably gonna be bumping this shit, when it's like late at night and I'm fucking tired of the holidays, but who knows? But wow. Besides the topics of Christmas and whatnot, she can use this as a form of escapism. Of course, I wish I had a river I could skate away on, either to escape from this relationship or the lingering feelings of being in a post relationship or a breakup and whatnot. It's man, it is just very saddening to hear, just the way it sonically sounds, the way Joni's emotions like really bleed through the tracks. Wow. Although never released as a single, it has become one of Mitchell's most recorded songs. What do I mean by recorded songs? The song is about the recent breakup of a romantic relationship, with the singer longing to escape her emotional bonds as they are painful to her, as well as concerning the melancholy which comes with Christmas. Yeah. Which is, look at this shit! Which is normally portrayed as a time of family and great happiness. However, for people who cannot connect with their family or other people, it can be melancholic seeing so many happy families together. I've been saying this since that EP, when it comes to wintertime, there's that part of people that can relate to this tenfold. It is really much just kind of something that I've been aware, or not only me, obviously, but people have been aware of. If you are able to experience Christmas in the more normal sense with family and friends and get-togethers, that's fine, that's lovely for you. But there are people who aren't as lucky or aren't as fortunate, and I can see why they get so sad at a time where you're supposed to be happy, because it just is what it is. You're just seeing you just know other people are experiencing something that you either can't have or never will have. It's just it's a topic that I've kind of glossed over already in a different Christmas related video, but yeah. what a depressive Christmas track. And I have my fair share of Christmas tunes that are in that depressive lane, and this is gonna be added to that small list. My god, what an emotional track. Yeah. Alright, second to last track, A Case of You. Lyrics aren't synced to the song yet. Fuck you, Spotify. Stupid ass fucking app.
Just before our love got lost, constantly in the darkness. Be in the bar.
Hell yeah.
In the blue TV screen. Oh, Canada.
Speaking of being homesick. Okay. Hey, you know what? Shout out to you. You can hold down your alk. Shout out to Joni.
I am alone. The devil.
Okay.
Touching souls.
Yep.
Shores out of me.
I mean, just like the ways of her lyrics, man.
I think a case of you. I met a woman.
Hell yeah.
Be prepared to bleed.
Oh.
But you are in my blood.
Okay, a little solo at the end. Oh well. Okay, I don't know if it's a little solo, but like a little lick over there. But yeah. It feels like a kind of perfect. I don't know why I say perfect love, but like a very compatible pairing, right? Compatible pairing of love. Souls touch, very poetic, very beautiful imagery coming out with the lyrics here. It's like might have been perfect for each other, or we might have been soulmates, literally. I feel like when she's talking about just drinking wine and whatnot and taking a whole glass, it feels like, if I want to get a little symbolic or metaphorical, I guess, it's like some sort of allegory for addiction in a way, or how this love is not really perfect, but more in a sense debilitating in a way, where it's like we might think that we're perfect for each other, but like I might think I love drinking wine a lot, but obviously a bunch of alcohol in a large setting, in a very constant setting, it's not good for you in a way. So I guess you can brush it like that in a more hurtful manner rather than like we are so great for each other. It's like a talk about dependency and how much you're overly dependent on substances, or that, you know, dopamine rush or that high or whatnot. It's like, yeah, it's not good for you. This is why we probably might need to go separate ways, kind of stuff. Sorry, I had the topic of addiction on me because like I read the Chainsaw Man manga ending, and it's like that's a whole nother topic I can go on about or try to have a conversation with, but it's people are not taking it too well, and I'm not really taking it too well either the more I think about it. But there's definitely a story in there or a lesson in there about addiction as well, but kinda in a very more chaotic and messy way. This here is beautiful. This is a beautiful song. Mitchell's poetic ode to an inescapable love, one she knows could be wrong for her but is now in her soul, has become one of her most enduring classics. It has never gone out of style in pop culture, having appeared in films like Practical Magic and been recorded by Prince, Tori Amos, Katie Lang, Diana Krall, and more. In the 1971 review of Mitchell's Blue, where the song first appeared, Rolling Stone wrote, "She has given us some of the most beautiful moments in recent popular music." Recent. Holy. Yeah, sometimes I forget that like music reviews and like music journalism has been here for like a while. It's not just an internet thing. I gotta remember that like there's been decades, centuries of worlds before my time, and it's like, you know, it's fun uncovering old classics like this, but we can get to that after the next track, because that is the last track coming up, track number 10 out of 10, The Last Time I Saw Richard. Man, I haven't seen Richard in a while either. Shout out to Richard.
Detroit in 68.
Shout out to Detroit.
Romantics meet the same fate someday. Go look at your eyes, they're full of moon.
Okay.
They're like pretty lies.
Jesus Christ, man.
And he pushed 3 buttons and drink up now, it's getting on time to close. Pain that's in your head, you got to
Jeez.
your eyes, put yourself back on your feet. Love so sweet, got married to a figure skater.
Oh, skating again.
And all the house lights left up bright. I don't want nobody coming over to my table. Only a dark cocoon before I get.
Yeah, with that being said, that's the last time I saw Richard. Wow. Very much well, Jesus kind of says it too, but it's pretty much cycling between being naive and optimistic about love, and the other side of the spectrum being cynical and nihilistic on relationships and whatnot. Obviously, at the beginning, Richard's talking about like all romance is doomed, all romance is fucked. You are just gonna end up like every other single relationship that happened so far, where you either end up sad, alone, or end up in a fucked up relationship that's nowhere near close to love anymore. But on the other side, there's that hope, I guess, some sort of seesaw, where it's like, hey man, love is just so good. It's such a great feeling. It's sweet. You're just down on your luck. You're just down in the dumps right now because of probably past experiences, and you know, it's not the right mindset to have, and you can't just have this defeatist mindset, this doomed mindset when it comes to love. You just have to keep trying. You just have to keep going, find someone that you'll eventually find that'll be perfect. And I guess it's just a back and forth argument with your thoughts, or other people who are in that sort of mindset where it's like, is love something you should pursue? Is love something that's just doomed to fail? And, I guess either trying to find some sort of middle ground or whatnot. I guess it depends on where you, the listener, are at your point in life. Depend on which side of the spectrum you lay upon. But yeah, I guess it can be one of those tracks that feel relatable in either mood, whether you're in the lovey-dovey, optimistic, naive. Well, I don't know if naive sounds a little too putting it down, but it's like in that more optimistic, hopeful sense, or it's relatable in the way where it's like, yeah, I'm never gonna find love. But, you know, it's nice to have a little bit of a hopeful mindset either way. You're free to feel however you're feeling at the moment, so, you know, hopefully things get better. Last Time I Saw Richard is the final song on JoniMitchell's seminal album Blue. In many ways, the song functions as a microcosm of the album as a whole, illustrating the cycles between optimism and cynicism that everyone, particularly dreamers, feel as they experience the ups and downs of love throughout their lives. Yeah, couldn't have said it any better, I guess. Things turned worse, and which is why she hasn't seen him for a long time. His cynicism led him to a superficial marriage and lifestyle. Richard bought his new wife every civil and middle class stuff. He might not be the one who got cynic, because he escaped the fate of the romantics. Artistic people are often rather bohemian when it comes to their lifestyle. Okay, haven't heard that word in a while in that context. He points out in the first stanza of the song. Yeah, I guess you just gotta find a way to balance out these thoughts and try to make the best of your situation, but not to just straight up ignore the bad parts, because, you know, there are some stuff that you're just gonna have to confront head on eventually. But with that being said, that was JoniMitchell's Blue album, and yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Some might even say it's great. Some might even say it's a classic album, which I think deserves the merit it has been getting for almost half a century now. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there are probably people who have listened to this album when it dropped, but that is definitely not me. I've only lived not less than half of a century, because I'm in my 20s. God damn. But yeah, what a emotional, folk driven album, and just a bunch of it is just so, it just exudes the sort of, you know, feeling or emotion that you want to relate to, or, you know, can be relayed to from Joni, whether it's like the little country guitar chords strumming, or the very much prominent piano, you know, striking that shows up in pretty much almost every track, if not all tracks here. And my god, as much as I love my guitar stuff, like, Joni pairing with the piano has been some really great, amazing balladry stuff. And you know, maybe I'm kind of just repeating old praises already. I mean, if Rolling Stone calls this the top third album of all time out of 500, then, you know, I guess a part of me is like, what else is there even to say about this album that hasn't already been said? But yeah, it's just something that you can still feel to this day. I mean, of course, I'm not a folk music expert. I'm not saying I'm a music expert in general. Obviously, I'm still playing this large game of catch up that I can talk about for a while, but I'm not gonna go over here and say that I know every single pop culture impact this album has. Like I said, has impacted either in pop culture or music as a whole, right? But if you find a modern folk album that you've heard, you know, in the last few years or so, I'm not sure if it's a direct influence, but you can definitely still feel the long-lasting impacts an album like Blue has on the genre. And I don't want to go on here and be like, oh, Joni Mitchell invented folk music, or, you know, whatnot. I honestly don't know. I haven't really looked into folk music's history like that, but considering the praise it gets, the very iconic structure of these songs, you can kind of just make context clues out of it and can tell just how important this album is for, you know, folk music or just music as a whole. And the lyrical content, the just way she's able to just be straightforward with you, but also just sprinkle in a bunch of lyrics that just let you kind of roam free with its imagination. You know, it's just a very nice way of experiencing it. I don't know how to say it. Oh, another word to describe it is elegant. It's very elegant sounding. I don't know why I expected, like, orchestral strings in here. I think that's just the kind of aesthetic I see when it comes to like these types of sounds from so long ago, because it just feels like something that would be a part of like a musical score, that kind of stuff that would be prevalent in movies around this time. But it feels weird because it's like you can definitely tell it's a very old sounding album, but like if someone dropped this in modern times, it doesn't feel dated in a way. Like even still, like there's a bunch of references in here that like are very prevalent today, but obviously it's not like the television is gonna go extinct anytime soon. It's not like bars were invented in the 2010s or something like that. No, it's just like these are just very prevalent things that have been existed for centuries now. It's like, I guess it's good on Mitchell to choose things that would be prevalent 50 years later. I don't know. Maybe she's psychic. I don't know. But maybe it's common sense. Don't know. But I'm rambling on this topic a little too much. But the topics of love, breakup, depression, the crazy story and, you know, context behind tracks like Little Green, being homesick in California, the multitude of breakup tunes that are just prevalent throughout the album, and it's like, wow, it's just such an it's just an emotional ride. God knows what a listener is feeling. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before on another album, but like imagining how the emotions are gonna hit you if you've experienced something like a relationship ending or a breakup so close to, you know, the proximity of you listening to this album and experiencing it. I bet it's just a different type of therapy or just getting stuff off your chest, because yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of listeners have cried to an album like this, because it just really is beautiful. Maybe one day when I'm just, you know, just have it on for some reason at a certain time, I might burst into tears too. Who knows? I don't know. There's definitely some merit in here to just let your emotions ride free when JoniMitchell's Blue is playing. But yeah, this is just a very classic album. It's nice seeing it's nice going back to albums so long ago and being able to still appreciate them, because I don't know, sometimes there can be, I guess there can be some sort of generational disconnect, but it's nowhere near prevalent here. Nope. Because I mean, love is one of the biggest, broadest, and most complex topics to talk about, and Joni definitely brushes upon it here in spades, tenfold, and in her own unique way, I guess. And I don't know what else to say about this album, but whatever praise it's gotten these past 55 years or so, yeah, keep it coming. I think it deserves every single bit of it, and you know, maybe 50 years from now it still keeps getting praise, and I hope it does, because it's definitely one of those timeless albums, considering how much folk music kind of, I don't know how to say it, but I guess there are definitely a bunch of modern folk albums, folk artists that are still very much gaining some sort of influence from an album like this. But then, like I said again, I'm not too well versed in the folk genre, the folk sphere. You know, just grab a prominent modern folk album and, you know, you can probably see the similarities. Hopefully, I don't know. But god damn, love sucks. No, we gotta be more hopeful about it. Love can be great, but it can also suck. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching a JoniMitchell classic album reaction in the books. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Watch my other classic album reactions if you want to. Watch my other non-classic album reactions if you want to. Yeah, I can't believe I got another recording out, right? I gotta work on the Patreon because I'm still running out of space. I only did this, or well, I want to get this out of the way because obviously April Fools, you know. Hopefully you like the bit. I don't really care. If you didn't, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter as long as you watched. But yeah, hopefully I didn't fool you too hard. Hopefully you aren't mad at me for lying to you. I'm sorry. But yeah, if I thought this was gonna be the first classic album I would listen to for the year, I'd be wrong, because I have another album in mind that it's probably next, but obviously I haven't started the recording process for it, haven't, you know, whatnot, but it's gonna come soon. Don't you worry. You'll get another classic album pretty soon, and you'll also get, you know, a new release album whenever I feel like it happening. I know Yeet, as of this recording, Yeet dropped yesterday, and I'm probably not gonna record a video on that because I didn't, you know, I don't know. I still need space, obviously, but more albums coming on the way. Eventually, you know, busy guy, still learning my new job, but we'll get the hang of it. We'll be cruising through the year. Hopefully. I can't make any promises, but I'm still here. I'm still prominent. I still want to upload videos throughout the year, and I just love rambling, I guess, about music. I just love music, like everyone should, or mostly everyone should. Thank you, JoniMitchell fans. Lay it down on us. Let us know what you thought about Blue. Is this Joni's best album, or does Joni have another bunch of classics that I'm not well aware of? I'm not sure if I'm gonna listen to them on camera, but very left field album reaction, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Mitski helped me prepare myself for something like this. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Okay, great album. All these years later, classic album, stands the test of time. And what else could you ask more? All right, cool. Happy first of the month. Happy new month. Happy wake up. All right. Bye-bye.